Hi guys! Taehyung and Jungkook truly transformed BTS's first night in Las Vegas into something much bigger than just another music show. From the moment the sun began to set behind the majestic city of Las Vegas, the atmosphere around Allegiant Stadium was already different. A sea of purple lights filled every corner, and thousands of armies from various countries walked toward the stadium with eager faces, carrying army bombs that twinkled like tiny stars in the crowd. Many had come after long journeys, some had flown across continents, and some had waited years just for this moment to see BTS stand on the big stage again. But amidst all the anticipation that filled the air that night, there was one thing that stood out the most: how Taehyung and Jungkook would once again light up the stage with their energy that never fails to captivate the entire world. When the stadium lights suddenly went out and the intro began to echo from all corners of the arena, the atmosphere changed drastically. The screams of thousands of armies pierced the air, and the army bombs lit up simultaneously, creating a purple ocean so beautiful it almost felt unreal. All cameras were raised, everyone's breath was held, and just as the giant screen lit up, BTS finally appeared on stage. But within seconds, the audience's attention was instantly drawn to two figures standing with incredibly powerful auras: Kim Taehyung and Jungkook. Taehyung strode in with his trademark piercing gaze, his expression calm yet domineering, while Jungkook appeared with a wild charisma that seemed to ignite the entire stadium. The combination of the two created an explosion of energy that was hard to describe. The audience's screams grew deafening as the cameras alternated between their faces on the giant screen, and at that moment, everyone knew this night would be truly legendary. From the moment the first song began, Taehyung and Jungkook's chemistry was palpable. Their every move seemed perfectly in sync, as if they knew without even needing to look at each other where the rhythm would take them next. As Jungkook shot to the front of the stage with his explosive energy, Taehyung matched him with elegant, controlled movements that only intensified the spotlight on him. The contrast between the two created a captivating dynamic. Jungkook was like a wildfire, while Taehyung was like a mysterious magnet, silently drawing everyone's attention. When the camera captured their brief moment of glancing at each other with a faint smile amidst the intense choreography, the stadium erupted in hysterical army screams. Social media was instantly filled with video clips of the moment, with many fans hailing it as one of the most captivating Taekook interactions in BTS's concert history. Taehyung appeared that night as if he were born to command such a large stage. Every step he took felt like a scene from a blockbuster movie. His gaze was sharp, his smile soft yet captivating, and his facial expressions so vivid they were impossible to ignore. Every time a close-up of his face appeared on the giant LED screen, thousands of fans screamed uncontrollably. Yet, at the same time, Jungkook was also exceptional. His vocals were steady and emotional, his movements powerful, and his aura as a global performer was truly radiating. There was one moment when Jungkook landed a perfect high note and turned to Taehyung with a satisfied smile, and Taehyung returned the gesture with a look of admiration and a chuckle. That simple interaction was enough to make the entire stadium erupt again. For many armies, that was one of the moments that made the concert so special because their chemistry never seemed contrived, but rather natural and genuine. As the concert progressed, the atmosphere constantly shifted between bursts of energy and heart-pounding, emotional moments. As the upbeat songs played, Taehyung and Jungkook were like two centers of gravity, making the entire stadium move to their rhythm. But as the music slowed down and purple lights gently filled the arena, the two revealed a much more emotional side. Taehyung stood at the edge of the stage, gazing out at the sea of armies with an expression that was hard to describe, as if trying to preserve the moment forever in his memory. Not far from him, Jungkook gazed at the audience with sparkling eyes, smiling warmly as he raised the microphone to express his gratitude. In that moment, without needing many words, the two managed to convey how precious the night had been to them. Thousands of armies fell silent for a moment, many in tears, feeling the palpable emotional connection between BTS and their fans. And as the concert finally drew to a close, fireworks lit up the Las Vegas sky while huge lights flooded the stadium. BTS stood together, receiving the love from tens of thousands of fans, but once again the eyes of many were drawn to Taehyung and Jungkook. They stood side by side, smiling as they gazed out at the endless sea of purple before them. Taehyung occasionally glanced at Jungkook with a small smile, while Jungkook returned it with a look of genuine joy. It was a simple image, but it felt so iconic. Even after the stage lights went down and the concert officially ended, fans remained in their seats, screaming BTS's name, Taehyung's name, and Jungkook's name. Social media exploded that night, with thousands of comments proclaiming that Day 1 Las Vegas wasn't just another opening concert. It was a historic night where Taehyung and Jungkook once again proved that they weren't just global idols, but two extraordinary performers capable of creating unforgettable memories for the entire world. But the euphoria that filled the stadium hadn't yet reached its peak. After a brief pause when the main lights dimmed and the atmosphere calmed, the thumping bass returned to the arena. In a matter of seconds, a spotlight pierced the darkness, revealing the silhouettes of two figures instantly recognizable to the entire audience. Kim Taehyung stood tall with a cool expression that radiated undeniable charm, while Jungkook appeared a few steps behind him with a sharp, focused gaze. As the music entered the main section, the two slowly moved forward, creating an indescribable aura, as if the entire stage were completely under their control. Thousands of armies screamed hysterically again, some even covering their faces, unable to contain their immense awe. In that moment, the atmosphere completely changed. It was no longer just a grand concert, but a world-class performance that demonstrated how these two figures could build an atmosphere through simple gestures, fleeting glances, and a powerful presence. Amidst the resounding cheers, this small interaction between them became the biggest talking point of the night. As the choreography entered a more intense section, Jungkook glanced to the side with a faint smile that was barely visible on a standard camera. However, the giant screen captured it all clearly. The glance was met by Taehyung's relaxed expression, then responded with a small, meaningful nod. The audience's reaction immediately exploded. For many, a simple moment like that felt far more memorable than any stage effect. There was something about the way they responded to each other that felt so natural, as if the communication had been established without a single word. Fans who witnessed it live even reported feeling a distinct emotional resonance when they saw the two share such energy. The entire arena seemed to stop for a few seconds before finally shaking with unabated screams of joy. As the more emotional vocal section progressed, the atmosphere gradually became ethereal. The music slowed, purple lights radiated softly, and the screen displayed close-ups of Taehyung's face, seemingly deeply invested in every lyric. His voice flowed warmly, touching the deepest emotions of the thousands of people in attendance that night. Soon, Jungkook's voice entered with a clean harmony, creating a near-perfect blend. The entire stadium suddenly fell silent, leaving only their voices echoing beautifully throughout the room. Many armies were seen shedding tears without realizing it, lost in the atmosphere that felt so personal despite the massive venue. Taehyung's gaze occasionally glanced at Jungkook, while Jungkook returned it with a small, appreciative smile. The moment wasn't just a part of the performance, but a reminder of how strong the musical bond they had built over the years was.